So when I was asked what are the 5 films that I would select for this series, I thought, you know what are 5 films that I could watch over and over and over again? And a very easy choice for my first film, my favorite film of all time, Evil Dead 2. It is probably the best in the series, I would say. Some people might say the original Evil Dead 1 purely because it is out and out horror. I like Evil Dead 2 because it has that great mix of horror and comedy, but still keeps the practical effects, still keeps the gore, and takes the story to the next level. Obviously, Bruce Campbell's Ash in the first movie is, well, let's face it, he's a bit of a wimp, you know. But in this is where he truly embraces his action hero roots. This is the film where he gets the chainsaw hand and has the iconic groovy line. So this is what really cements the series. I think if Evil Dead 1 had remained a standalone movie, then it would still go down in the annals of history, but it wouldn't be as beloved, or the series certainly wouldn't be as beloved if it hadn't been a sequel. So Evil Dead 2, and obviously, if you've ever seen the Evil Dead musical, you'll know that the main thrust of that is Evil Dead 2. It has the best moments. It has one of the best villains in Henrietta. It's got Jake. You know, everyone loves good old reliable Jake. Who's just the worst. But yeah, I absolutely love Evil Dead 2. It takes everything from the first one, ramps it up, but gives you more to laugh at as well. And who doesn't love a nice 80-minute, thrills and chills? Right, choice number 2 then. Can't go any worse than Back to the Future, but not just Back to the Future, specifically Back to the Future Part 2. Because again, very similar to Evil Dead 2, it takes the original and builds upon it. This Back to the Future Part 2, this movie actually establishes the rules of time travel much more than Part 1. Part 1's a good fun romp of, what was happening if I went back in time and went to school with my parents. This one's, what if I went back in time and screwed everything up? And so, okay, Marty and Doc don't screw everything up. Biff does, but they have to then go and clean up Biff's mess. And it does that thing where it takes you back through the first movie, so you get like a greatest hits of the first movie, but it also expands upon that. You get to see scenes from alternate angles. You get to kind of clear up some plot holes from the first one, and then you've got that great cliffhanger ending where Doc goes back in time and Marty's like trapped in the 50s. So what does he do? He goes to see the only other person who knows about time travel, which is Doc. And there's that moment where Christopher Lloyd does that great platform, falls down in the street. And yeah, I absolutely adore this movie. It was the first one of the 3 that I saw, and my dad actually taped it for me off the TV. And he missed the entire first 15, 20 minutes. So I didn't get to see the future section of Back to the Future 2 for a long, long time. And the fact that I hadn't seen the first movie, kind of the rest of it, it made sense, but didn't make sense. But it was one hell of a good time. And I absolutely recommend Back to the Future 2 as my second choice. So, third choice then. What's better for a good movie night than one of the best action movies of all time? And that's why I went with Total Recall. Because who doesn't love a bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger, let's be honest. This has got the great mix again of action, sci-fi, comedy. It's a really, really funny movie. And it's got some of the best quotable Arnie moments of all time. Like, who can forget, I'll see you at the party, Richter. It's just, consider that a divorce. There's some great moments in there. And you've got Michael Ironside as the villain. And again, who doesn't love Michael Ironside? It's a great story about a guy who may or may not be a different person. You've got all the stuff on Mars. Some fantastic action sequences, and again, you've got the moments where they go onto the surface of Mars and they can't breathe, and you've got all the the practical effects there. Fantastic. And if you think about it, it's actually a really hard sci-fi concept about who are you if you're not yourself. Can you trust your own memories? Can you trust your own experiences? And so to think that Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people, could be in one of the greatest hard sci-fi movies of all time is it's a mind-baffling concept, but Total Recall is a mind-baffling concept in and of itself. But don't watch the remake, though, with Colin Farrell. It's not good. Okay, so choice number 4. I figured we go for something that is known, but may not be known by a lot of people. And I've gone for Ghostwatch. First broadcast on the BBC One back in, I want to say 1992, I think it was. It was only ever broadcast once because a lot of people didn't realise that it's actually a fictional, fake documentary, I suppose, is the best way to describe it, and thought that Michael Parkinson was actually hosting a live seance throughout the UK. And the fact that it had, reputable TV presenters, you've got Sarah Green, you've got Mike, I forget his name now, but Mike Smith, that's right, yeah, her actual real-life husband, Craig Charles, and it's basically a modern version of the Enfield haunting, for want of a better description of it, and things just get gradually worse and worse throughout the progress of the piece. You get hidden moments where you get to see the ghost, which, if you're watching carefully, he does appear about maybe 6 times during the film, and it's just really good. But because a lot of people missed the beginning, where there was that disclaimer to say this is fiction, there were so many complaints to the BBC, this was never ever shown again. And if you get a chance, grab this version by the BFI. It's really, really good. There's also a documentary out there called Behind the Curtains as well, which is really good, worth checking out. But yes, Ghost Watch. If you like something that's a little bit, okay, it's a bit clunky, but it's very British, and, it's a nice, fun way to spend 90 minutes. Okay, so for my 5th and final choice, I thought I'd go for something a little bit left field, and let's go with Room. Hang on. No, that's the wrong one. That's such a joker. No, we've gone with Actual Room with Brie Larson. Little bit unexpected of me. Most people who I know wouldn't think that I would pick this as the 5th film on my list, but I actually think that this is an absolutely fantastic film that not enough people know about. Yes, she won the Oscar for it, Brie Larson, Best Actress, as you can see right there. But it's a film of 2 halves, really. You've got the first half where she is trapped within the titular room, and it's all about what would a parent do for their child. It's how do you put up with an awful, awful situation to make sure that your child does not have to go through said awful situation. And then halfway through the film, you twist, and again, spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, but they do get out of the room. But then it becomes a story about post-traumatic stress disorder and adapting to a world that you don't know anymore. And yeah, it's just an unbelievable kind of take on trauma, essentially. And I think that more people should see this, because there's moments in this film, having been through certainly not a similar situation in my life, but I've been through trauma and bad times in my life, and I know where your mind can take you. And this film perfectly encapsulates that, and I definitely think more people should see it. And the kid as well, Jacob Tremblay, who plays the kid in this movie, that kid's got a great future. So yes, definitely worth checking out if you haven't. As I say, a little bit of a left field choice for me, but yeah, one that I'm definitely proud of to say it's a film that I could watch over and over again. Right, okay, I figured I'd hijack the last of the 5 films section and talk about 5 films of my own. Me, John Hollywood, haha, big time movie producer, yes. So I decided to pick 5 films that I like. So the first one is this one, which is Puppet Master. Yes, love a bit of Puppet Master, I do. Brilliant, yes. Second one, Chucky. It's the Child's Play first one, yes. Yes, all about a doll that comes to life. What an unusual concept, absolutely. And then we've got The Boy, which again is all about a doll. It's a bit weird though, I wouldn't really recommend it, but I like it. Annabelle, yes, she's a possessed doll. Oh, spooky, scary. Nobody knows. Is she a demon? Is she a possessed doll? Is there a cult leader inside? Nobody knows. But I do, because I'm John Hollywood, and I was involved in the making of it. And then finally, the producers. Well, that's self-explanatory, because I am John Hollywood, big-time American producer, big arm energy, ha-ha! Come to Snips, yes.